Hey everyone, welcome back to Genai Sports News. We've got a packed show today, so let's dive straight into the biggest story of the weekend, and it comes from the golf course. According to ESPN and BBC Sport, Englishman Aaron Rai has done something absolutely extraordinary at the PGA Championship. He fired a stunning 5-under par 65 in the final round at a Ronimink Golf Club to pull away from some of the biggest names in the sport and claim his first major title. And here's the stat that puts it all in perspective. Rai became the first English-born golfer to win the PGA Championship since 1919. Let that sink in. Over 100 years. ESPN reports that Rai entered Sunday just 2 shots off the lead, but he played with incredible composure and precision to work his way to the top of the leaderboard and stay there. He didn't just survive, he dominated. And as Sky Sports highlights, after the win, Rai spoke about his idol Tiger Woods, saying he grew up wanting to emulate the legend. Well, today, Aaron, consider that box ticked. You're a major champion. What a moment for English golf, and what a story this man has written. Keep that name in your memory, folks. Aaron Rai, PGA champion. Now, while Rai was celebrating, the story around Rory McIlroy was a very different one. BBC Sport and ESPN both reported on a fiery moment during the final round that's got golf fans talking. McIlroy, who was clearly battling frustration throughout his round, had a heated exchange with a spectator in the gallery after a USA shout rang out at a critical moment during his swing. BBC Sport reports that Rory actually shouted an expletive directly at the Heckler, not exactly the composed image you usually see from the Northern Irishman. ESPN describes the moment as the frustrations of a difficult final round boiling over. Rory had come into the week with so much momentum and expectations around him, and when things didn't go his way on Sunday, those emotions spilled out in front of the cameras. Now, look, golf crowds can be passionate, and Rory has endured his fair share of hostile galleries over the years, especially at events on American soil. But this is the kind of incident that will follow him into the press cycle this week. Whether you sympathize with him or not, it's a reminder that even the world's best players are human. We'll see how Rory responds the next time he tees it up. All right, let's shift from the fairways to the hardwood, because the NBA playoffs delivered a massive result on Sunday night. ESPN and BBC Sport are both reporting that the Cleveland Cavaliers absolutely dominated the Detroit Pistons in Game 7, winning 125-94 to advance to the Eastern Conference Finals. That's a 31-point demolition job in an elimination game. Brutal for Detroit. Electric for Cleveland. ESPN points out just how significant this is historically. It marks the Cavaliers' first Eastern Conference Finals appearance since LeBron James' last season in Cleveland. The city is buzzing, and rightfully so. And if you needed any more drama from the night, ESPN also reports that Cleveland couldn't resist a little trolling after the buzzer, playing into the classic Ohio versus Michigan rivalry by taking shots at Detroit online. Classic. As for the Pistons, ESPN says coach Xabi Bickerstaff tried to keep spirits up post-game, telling reporters that despite the painful ending, the season overall was, quote, not a disappointment. And honestly, for a young Detroit squad that was the top seed, there's an argument to be made. But right now, the spotlight belongs to Cleveland, and their conference finals matchup against the New York Knicks is going to be must-watch TV. Over to European football now, and Chelsea FC is buzzing with excitement as the Xabi Alonso era gets underway. ESPN's Transfer Talk column is reporting that as the Spaniard prepares to officially start his tenure as Chelsea manager, the club is already targeting some significant additions. 2 names getting serious attention are Brentford striker Igor Thiago and Aston Villa's creative midfielder Morgan Rogers. Thiago is a powerful, dynamic forward who has been turning heads in the Premier League, while Rogers has emerged as one of the most exciting young English midfielders in the game. Both would fit the kind of energetic, attacking football that Alonso became known for developing at Bayer Leverkusen. This is a really fascinating project. Alonso has walked into one of the wealthiest clubs in world football, with serious expectations and a fan base desperate for a return to the top. The early transfer talk suggests he's not wasting any time putting his stamp on the squad. And speaking of managerial uncertainty at a top club, Sky Sports is also reporting that the future of Pep Guardiola at Manchester City remains completely up in the air, with a decisive week ahead in the Premier League title race. Whether Guardiola stays or goes could have massive ripple effects across European football this summer. We'll be watching that one very closely. Now to the WNBA, where Caitlin Clark is simply operating on a different level from everyone else. ESPN is reporting one of the more unusual record-breaking stories you'll hear this year. A statistical correction to previously recorded data helped Clark officially claim the WNBA record for the most games with 20 or more points and 10 or more assists. And then, before the day was even over, she went out and had another performance that met those numbers, adding to the record she had just been given. Read that again. She broke a record via stat correction in the morning and then broke it again with her actual play in the afternoon. That's not just good, that's historic on a loop. Clark continues to rewrite the record books and push the boundaries of what we thought was possible at the guard position in the WNBA. The league is clearly in great hands with her leading the charge, and the attention and viewership she's bringing to women's basketball is undeniable. Meanwhile, on a more concerning note, ESPN also reports that Chicago Sky's leading scorer Rickea Jackson was helped off the court during Sunday's game against the Lynx with a left knee injury. Her teammate Natasha Cloud expressed frustration, saying she felt officials failed to protect Jackson during the game. We'll be keeping an eye on updates regarding her health in the days ahead. Let's hit a couple more big stories before we wrap up. In Major League Baseball, the Philadelphia Phillies are absolutely rolling right now. ESPN reports that Philly beat the Pittsburgh Pirates 6-0 on Sunday, completing a 3-game sweep and pushing their record to 24 wins and 23 losses, back above the .500 mark for the first time since early April. Even more impressively, the Phillies have gone an incredible 15 wins and just 4 losses since interim manager Don Mattingly took over the dugout. That is an extraordinary turnaround, and the city of brotherly love is starting to believe again. And over in college football, ESPN is reporting that Big Ten coaches are making some serious noise at their spring meetings. Coaches from across the conference are pushing hard for an expansion of the college football playoff from its current 12-team format to a 24-team bracket. The idea, which only really gained traction less than a year ago, has now drawn support not just in the Big Ten, but also across the ACC and Big 12. That kind of cross-conference momentum is hard to ignore, and it looks like the conversation around CFP expansion is only going to get louder as we head into the summer. And finally, a quick look at Formula One, where Sky Sports has a fascinating piece on young Mercedes driver Kimi Antonelli. Sky Sports reports that Antonelli is not only adjusting to life as a genuine Formula One title contender, but he's also carrying the weight of an entire nation's hopes on his shoulders. Italy, a country absolutely mad about motorsport, is without its national football team at this summer's World Cup, which means Antonelli's F1 campaign is taking on even greater cultural significance back home. His popularity in Italy has reportedly surged dramatically as he leads the championship standings. For a driver so young to be in this position, balancing the pressure of a title fight while becoming a national icon in real time is genuinely remarkable. The Canadian Grand Prix is coming up this weekend, and all eyes will be on Antonelli to see if he can keep that championship lead intact. And that's going to do it for today's show. What a Sunday of sport, a historic major win, playoff fireworks, a managerial era beginning at Chelsea, and records being broken in the WNBA. If you enjoyed the show, do us a huge favor. Smash that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and hit the bell so you never miss an episode. We'll see you right back here for the next one. I'm Genai. Take care, everyone.